again, girl. Say it again. Make a record.
I star.
I'm on live stream.
Our area star.
I'm on live stream. Okay, guys. Good evening. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're tuning to my channel for the first time, my name is Peace, and I run your favorite sociologist. On this channel, I do frank talks about the society and you. And on this channel, I try to stay on the side and the path of positivity. So let's dive into our topic for today. It's better to cry in a Lamborghini than to cry in a keke napep. It's better to cry in a Lamborghini than to cry in a keke napep. Guys, at the end of the day, all cry not cry. Whether you like it or not, whether you like to tell yourself the truth or not, all cry not cry. If you say, oh, it's better to choose a younger man who is struggling and is coming up, he go still beat you. Okay, so this is not me trying to endorse domestic violence. No, I am not. And this is not me trying to say it's okay for men to be violent to their women, right? But I've come to realize that some misunderstandings in relationships can just not be erased off, right? There is no way you're going to have relationships without misunderstandings. And sometimes during the process of arguments, altercations, one thing may lead to the other and all of that. But with the recent happening and the trends online, I see so many people trying to mock Regina Daniel, trying to laugh at her, trying to make it feel like, oh, it's because she is married to an older man, that's why she's experiencing what she's experiencing. And I just laugh. I laugh because in this same society, we see women who are married to men their age. We also see women who are married to men that don't have much. And at the end of the day, they still get to face domestic violence anyways. They still get to face domestic violence. They still get to be beaten. They still get to experience all the stress, all the pain, all the hurt that comes with domestic violence. Right? So some people trying to say, oh, she made a mistake by trying to marry someone who's older than her. And I'm telling you people that even people who are married to their age mates, even people who are married to their age grade, even people who are married to men that don't have as much still go through these things. They still experience these things. They still experience domestic violence. They still do basketballs inside their houses. They still do it. Honestly, and I really don't appreciate the fact that when someone, because she's going through a phase or a challenge in her marriage, people will start dragging her, people will start mocking her, people will start laughing at her. I tell you for free, I've been in a situation. Oh, thank you. Hi, William. Thanks for joining. I've been in a relationship with a man who didn't have, and at the same time, I have been in a relationship with a man who was not way older than I am, like Regina's husband. So many other women too have experienced that. I've been in such relationships, and there was still domestic violence in the relationship. There was domestic violence in the relationship, there was domestic violence in the marriage. I experienced it myself, and I have seen other people who were with younger men and they experienced the same thing. Williams, where are you from? I'm from Nigeria, Williams. I'm from Nigeria. So, for people to be laughing at her and trying to mock her that it's because she's with an older man, that's why she's experiencing domestic violence, I do not agree with that fact. In any way, I do not agree with it at all. That is not true. That is not true at all. It is not true. And it is not because she's with a man who has much more money. No, that is not true. That is not true. But everybody is just making it look like, oh, it's because she's with an older man, that's why she's experiencing domestic violence. No. I was in a relationship with a younger man, and I was also in a relationship with a person who didn't even have much, and I still experienced domestic violence. So many other women are in relationships with younger men and are also in relationships with men who didn't have much, and they still experience domestic violence. Eh? So for people to be going around using her pictures, using her photo, trying to drag her, trying to mock her, oh, that she said it was better to laugh to cry in a Lamborghini. At this point, after my experience, I agree 100% with Regina Daniels. Yes, I do. I agree 100% with Regina Daniels, because at the end of the day, in a Lamborghini, whether you are with a rich man, or if you are with a rich man, you will still cry. If you are with a broke man, you will still cry. So which one is better? Which one is better? Is it not the one that when you are crying, you will cry small, you enter inside, you go and receive small AC. You enter inside and go and receive small AC and drive Lamborghini small, and oh my God. You enter inside and go and receive small AC and drive Lamborghini small and come out, and the one that when they finish doing you the gbas, you will go inside. There's nothing for you to even use and cool your temperature. Because at the end of the day, both the rich and the poor, they experience crisis in their relationships. Yes, the rich experience crisis in their relationship, the middle class experience crisis in their relationship, and even the broke experience crisis in their relationship. So it's not and also the age gap thing. People that are married to people with a large age gap, they experience crisis in their relationships. People that are married to people with little age gap between them, they still experience crisis in their relationship. All we need to do is just pray to God. It's just pray to God that we don't experience this crisis in our relationship. We pray to God that whenever we have this conflict or this argument or this crisis with our partners, it doesn't get to the point where it leads to violence, right? Because last for this life, everybody go experience them, right? All we just need to do is pray that in our various relationships, when we are having crises, when we are having arguments, when we are having conflicts or altercations with our partners, it doesn't get to the point of the violence parts. Because at the end of the day, whether you are with a rich man, whether you are with a broke man, we all have crises in our relationships. Whether you are with a younger man or you are with an older man, you still have crisis in your relationships. So trying to make it look like, oh, she's experiencing all these things because she's with an older man, or she's experiencing all these things because she's with a man that has money, honestly, it doesn't even make sense to me. And to buttress my points, and I say it again, I agree with her 100%. It is better to cry in a Lamborghini. Yes, so Benny, it's 100% better to cry in a Lamborghini than to be crying in the Keke Napep. Lamborghini, when you cry small, you go on vacation. When you cry small, you go on vacation. This one, when you cry, there's nowhere for you to go. When you cry, the way after they finish giving you blues, your eye will swell up. They will not even have money to take you to the hospital. But when you are crying in a Lamborghini, when you do small, hey, you go on vacation and come back. So honestly, I'm just making this video because I've seen almost everybody trying to make it look like they are mocking her for being married to her husband. They are mocking her. They are trying to laugh at her. It's not looking as if everyone was praying for her to have this crisis in her marriage. Like they were just waiting for her to just say, hey, we're having issues. Forgetting that even then, or even we that don't have as much as she does, we also have crisis in our own relationships. even though we are in relationships with people who are not way older than we are, and also we are in relationships with people who are not billionaires. We still have crisis in our relationships. The only prayer, like I'm saying, is that we should just pray that it doesn't become violence when we have these arguments, when we have this crisis, when we have these altercations in our relationships, right? The fact that has got to the point of violence, it's not an exception. People who are not billionaires also have conflicts in their relationships, and it also leads to violence. I experienced violence myself. So many other people also experience violence in their relationships. So many other people who are not with billionaires also experience violence in their relationships. So many other people who are not with older men also experience violence in their relationships. So I'm just not cool with the fact that everybody's trying to mock her at this point. Everybody's trying to, like, it's just looking like everybody was just waiting for her to just let out a cry of distress so that they can mock her. So at this point, it's looking like all the celebration people were celebrating with her, whenever she posts her loved up videos or pictures and all of that, it wasn't genuine. Because if you look at it closely, this society that we are in, the rich are humans, the poor are humans, the middle class are humans. They have conflicts in their relationships. We also have conflicts in our relationships, right? So if someone who's married to a billionaire is experiencing domestic violence, it's not limited or excluded to her or to them. People who don't have also experienced this domestic violence, sometimes in a very worst states, in much terrible situations. Like maybe for the rich man, he will just do and just he will not beat you very well. But for a broke man, he will beat you, like he will punch you. He will punch you in and out. He will punch you blue, black. Your face will swell up. It will scatter. Hi, Sadia. Good evening. Thanks for joining. How are you and my girls? Oh, we are fine. Thank you. So, Sadia, what do you think? Do you think it's okay that everybody right now is trying to mock Regina Daniel because she experienced domestic violence in her marriage? I am of the opinion that people shouldn't be trying to mock her at this point, right? Because whether she is a billionaire or she is a poor person, whether she is with a billionaire or she's with a poor person, at the end of the day, both the rich and the poor experience a crisis in their relationships, and they also experience domestic violence. All we need to do is just pray that in our relationships, when we have this crisis, we don't allow it escalate into the violence stage. Because trust me, every relationship, there is disagreement in every relationship. Whether you are with a rich man, whether you are with a rich woman, whether you are with a poor man, or whether you are with a rich man, we all experience these challenges in our relationships, right? So I'm just not cool with the fact that everybody's trying to drag her, everybody's trying to shame her, everybody's trying to hello everybody's trying to make it look like, oh, she's experiencing domestic violence because she's married to an older man, or she's experiencing domestic violence because she's married to a billionaire. That is not true. Domestic violence is a regular thing in our African society, not just African society itself. Domestic violence is a regular thing in the society. The rich face it, the poor face it. Okay, Sadia says no, because she is a woman like us. Yeah, yeah, that's just what I'm saying. It's now looking like people were not really happy for her for being married to a billionaire or for being married to that man, but they were just pretending about the whole love they were showing her and all of that, because the rate at which people are circulating her pictures and saying negative things about her and dropping opinion and then tagging it to the fact that she's married to an older man or to the fact that she's married to a billionaire is just not going down well with me. Hi, Bibi. Welcome. Thanks for joining. It's just not going down well with me. Trust me, it's not going down well with me because so many people in Africa are polygamists, right? So many men in Africa are polygamists. It's our tradition. It is our tradition. Polygamy is our tradition. So people shouldn't tie it to the fact that, oh, it's because she's married to a man who has so many wives. That's why she's experiencing the men. People who are with one man, one woman, monogamous marriages still experience domestic violence. They still do. So it's a general problem in our society. So people shouldn't try to make it look bad or try to tag her, and like, I'm just not cool with the rate at which her pictures are circulating, and there are so many negative comments attached to it. And they're attaching these comments to the fact that she's married to an older man. They're also attaching this comment to the fact that she is married to a billionaire. They're also attaching these comments to the fact that she's married to a man who has several wives. What was she expecting? Now, if you look at the society, even a man or even a woman that is married to just one man, they still experience crisis in their relationships, and they still experience domestic violence. So it is not because she's married to a man that has many wives. If you want to look at it in terms of because she's married to a billionaire, even a woman that is married to a man that doesn't have at all, that is managing life, they still experience crisis in their relationships, and they still experience domestic violence. If you want to look at it based on the fact that she is because she's married to a man who is way older than she is, that's why she's experiencing domestic violence. There are so many people in our society right now who are married to men their age grade, and yet they still experience crisis in their relationships, and they still experience domestic violence. So me, for one, as a sociologist, I am just not cool with the fact that people are trying or people are circulating her marital crisis and tagging it to the fact that she's married to a billionaire, or the fact that she's married to an older man, or the fact that she's married to a man that has many wives. That is not true. That is not true, right? So in this live stream for today, when I saw it yesterday, I felt pity for her. Yes, I've been feeling sorry for her because everybody has one negative thing to say about her, one negative thing or the other to say about her. It just doesn't make sense. Even people that are currently experiencing domestic violence in their relationships are still tagging her and saying, oh, it's because she's doing this, or because she's married to this, or because she did that is greed that pushed her there and all of that. Trust me, at this point we should just be praying that when we have crisis in our relationships, because I know for certainty that there is no relationship that is perfect. You'll always have misunderstandings. You will always have crises. You will always have conflicting opinions on issues. But the prayer should be that when you have this conflicts, when you have this crisis, when you go through that phase of your relationship, it shouldn't escalate to violence stage. You can just have your differing opinions or get angry, raise your voices, but it shouldn't get to the point where they have to hit someone or they have to destroy something and all of that. Right? So that's my take, and that's why I'm making this video, because I am not in agreement with the fact that it is because she's married to a billionaire, or it's because she's married to a polygamist, or it's because she's married to a man who is way older than her. That's why she's experiencing domestic violence. No, it is a thing in our society, and we need to address it squarely. Yes, it is a thing in our society, and we need to address it squarely. right? And I'm also not cool with the fact that everybody is celebrating the fact that she's actually expressing domestic violence. I thought people were actually happy for her. People were happy for the happy for her for the fact that she found love, or people were happy with her for the fact that she was living life well and all of that. But the sudden switch on the social media space, man, it just shows that last everybody's on their own. Oh, you are on your own. If people celebrate you today, just take it, because in the next second they can just flip on you. Okay, guys, so that's what I have to say for this the Regina Daniels matter that is going around and trending, and people trying to make it look like it's greed that pushed her to that point, or make it look like it's bad advice that pushed her to that point, and all of that. When you experience domestic violence in your relationships, even as a poor person, would you say it was bad advice that pushed you to that point? So in this video now, if you don't take anything out of this video, just take this, that the rich, the billionaires have conflicts in their relationships, and the poor men also have conflicts in their relationships. People who are married to people with greater age gaps between them, and people who are married to people with lesser age gaps between them, experience conflicts in their relationships. People who are married to polygamists, who are in polygamous marriages, and people who are in monogamous relationships still experience conflicts in their relationships. And sometimes it leads to violence, sometimes it doesn't. So we should try not to twist the narrative, because right now people are trying to make it look like if she had not married that man, she wouldn't have experienced domestic violence. Now, what were you expecting when you married a polygamist? What were you expecting when you married a man who is older than you? What were you expecting when you were married for money and all of that? I don't agree with that, because even people who are not married to people who are older than them, or who are billionaires, or who are polygamists, still cry. Last, everybody they cry, right? But according to Regina Daniels, it's better to cry in a Lamborghini. All right, guys, thanks for staying with me. This is the length of what I have for you today. See you guys in my next video. I love you. Bye.